Everything you've been told about happiness is wrong, and deep inside, you've always known it. Think about it. Have you ever chased something passionately, a career, relationship, or goal, only to achieve it and still feel a hollow emptiness afterward? Society tells you happiness awaits at some distant finish line, yet when you get there, you find nothing but another horizon. Why? Because deep down your soul recognizes something your mind hasn't yet admitted. Your life is built on illusions. Carl Jung famously declared, every transformation demands the ending of a world, the collapse of an old philosophy of life. This might sound frightening, but what if it's actually the greatest opportunity of your life? Most people think spiritual awakening is about finding peace, but the truth is it often begins by losing everything you thought was important. Consider your ego like an elaborate house of cards you've built your entire life. Your reputation, your ambitions, your beliefs about who you are. Suddenly, one unexpected event, a heartbreak, a failure, an identity crisis, causes the entire structure to collapse. You're terrified because the ego thrives on maintaining control. Yet here's a powerful twist. That collapse is your liberation in disguise. Science now backs up ancient wisdom in a remarkable way. Brain scans revealed that during deep meditation or moments of spiritual crisis, the ego center in your brain literally shuts down. Imagine that. At the exact moment you think you're losing yourself, your mind is quietly preparing for profound transformation. Rumi described this beautifully when he wrote, "Be empty of worrying." Think of who created thought. You might fear losing your identity, but here's a powerful truth. Your real self was never tied up in the illusions of your ego. This collapse doesn't destroy you, it frees you. But to claim this freedom, you must have the courage to face something most people run from their entire lives. Are you ready to confront your deepest fears? Have you ever asked yourself honestly, what parts of your character do you wish no one would ever see? Is it hidden anger, secret shame, or fears you pretend don't exist? Most people think spiritual awakening is about finding inner peace by ignoring these darker aspects, but that's not true. In fact, facing the darkness inside is the bravest thing you'll ever do. Carl Jung, the legendary psychologist, revealed a profound truth when he said the greatest privilege of your life is to become who you truly are. But becoming who you truly are means acknowledging parts of yourself you'd rather deny. Jung called these hidden parts your shadow. And here's something unexpected. These shadows aren't your enemies. They're essential keys to your deepest strength. Let me share with you a shocking story about the Zen master Hakuin. His serenity was tested brutally when a young woman falsely accused him of fathering her child, shattering his reputation. Imagine how you'd react to being falsely blamed. Yet Hakuin replied calmly, "Is that so?" Without anger, without denial, he raised the child with compassion. Later, when the woman confessed her lie, Hakuin again said quietly, "Is that so?" How could he remain so calm? Because Hakuin had fully embraced his shadow, there was no ego left to defend. He knew exactly who he was. No accusations could threaten him. Neuroscience reveals something incredible here. When you confront and accept negative emotions honestly, your amygdala, the brain's fear center, actually shrinks. You literally become fearless by facing your fears. But facing your shadow isn't easy. It requires deep courage. William Blake famously wrote, "If the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear as it is, infinite." When you confront your shadows, you cleanse these doors of perception, finally seeing your true potential clearly. Those frightening shadows you hide within you are gateways to the profound peace you've always craved. Your spiritual awakening depends entirely on your willingness to walk through this darkness. It's intimidating, and many people retreat. But here's the powerful truth that changes everything. Your greatest strength isn't found in perfection or avoidance, but in courageously embracing all parts of yourself. So, ask yourself honestly, are you brave enough to meet your shadow face to face and claim your true power? If you feel utterly lost right now, if hope seems impossible, and everything you once believed has been shattered, then listen carefully. You're closer to awakening than you've ever imagined. Most people misunderstand this intense period as a sign of failure, depression, or weakness. But what if this painful crisis you're experiencing isn't breaking you down, but actually breaking you open? Mystics throughout history have named this stage the dark night of the soul. St. John of the Cross described it as a deeply painful yet necessary phase, a stripping away of false beliefs so powerful that only your true essence remains. Carl Jung echoed this, warning us that genuine growth often requires immense inner turmoil before harmony emerges. He wrote, "Man becomes whole only when the conscious and unconscious have learned to live at peace. But before that peace arrives, you must face chaos and confusion, a deep recalibration that shakes you to your very core. Here's the stark truth. During the dark night, you'll question everything, your purpose, your worth, even whether meaning itself exists. It's a spiritual crisis disguised as psychological turmoil. But science offers astonishing reassurance. Researchers discovered during profound spiritual shifts, brain scans reveal reduced activity in regions responsible for self-definition. In other words, what feels like losing your identity is actually your brain releasing outdated patterns, preparing you for profound transformation. But this doesn't make the experience less terrifying. You might fear the darkness will never end, that the sense of emptiness will always remain. Yet nature itself provides powerful wisdom to guide you. Every seed buried deep in darkness must first crack open before it sprouts. The caterpillar, hidden in its cocoon, faces complete destruction, unaware it will soon emerge with wings. Like them, your darkness is painful precisely because it's leading you toward unimaginable freedom. This dark night is temporary yet necessary. The greatest danger isn't the darkness itself, it's giving up just before dawn. Remember, your soul has guided you precisely to this point. You're exactly where you need to be, despite the pain, confusion, and fear. In fact, these are the precise signals that your awakening is nearly complete. Can you hold on to this powerful truth that your deepest darkness is actually your greatest opportunity to finally discover who you truly are? Have you ever experienced a sudden moment of profound connection to everything around you? A moment where you felt utterly merged with nature, other people, or the universe itself? Most people brush these experiences aside as random or temporary. But what if they're actually glimpses of your true nature? At this stage of your awakening, the walls you've built between yourself and the world finally dissolve, leaving you with an astonishing realization. You're not separate at all. You're profoundly connected, deeply woven into the fabric of existence itself. Rumi captured this beautifully. You're not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop. This isn't just poetry, it's an actual shift in consciousness confirmed by neuroscience. In profound states of meditation, studies reveal the brain's boundaries between self and the external world temporarily vanish, leaving only a feeling of infinite unity. But unity isn't just an abstract spiritual experience, it's deeply practical, transforming every aspect of your daily life. Imagine suddenly feeling genuine compassion and empathy for everyone you encounter, not out of obligation, but naturally. You see your reflection in others, feeling their joy, pain, and struggle as your own. Let me share a powerful yet simple story to illustrate this. A wise woman found an incredibly valuable jewel in a stream. When a desperate traveler begged her for help, she handed him the priceless gem without hesitation. Astonished, the traveler later returned, giving back the jewel, asking instead for something far greater, whatever allowed her to let go so effortlessly. The woman's generosity wasn't about the object, it was about her profound awareness of unity. She saw herself in him and couldn't help but act with unconditional kindness. Awakening to unity feels like finally noticing the cage door you believed imprisoned you was never locked. You realize separation was an illusion your ego invented to keep you small and afraid. Neuroscience and spirituality both confirm awakening isn't gaining something new. It's recognizing a truth hidden in plain sight. William Blake famously wrote, "If the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear infinite." Unity is precisely this cleansing, revealing infinite connections between you and all of existence. At this stage, your life becomes vibrant and alive in ways you've never imagined. You finally understand what mystics and poets have described for centuries. Separation was always an illusion. Unity is your fundamental truth. Awakening doesn't mean you'll never again face challenges. It means you meet those challenges knowing you're never alone, that you're deeply connected to everyone and everything. Ask yourself, are you ready to fully embrace this profound connection and finally live in unity with the boundless universe hidden inside you? What if the greatest secret to your happiness isn't hidden somewhere in your future, but is waiting quietly for you right here, right now? Your whole life, you've chased fulfillment, climbing higher, striving harder, always believing happiness was just over the next hill. Yet even when you reach those goals, the joy quickly fades, leaving you puzzled and dissatisfied. Why? Because happiness doesn't live in the future, nor does it dwell in memories of your past. Happiness can only ever exist right here, in this moment. Eckhart Tolle called enlightenment the simple yet radical shift to complete presence. But presence isn't passively observing life, it's fully engaging with each moment, no matter how ordinary. You might think presence sounds too simple, too easy to be profound, yet here's a surprising truth. When you're fully present, even mundane tasks, like washing dishes or taking a walk, become deeply fulfilling, infused with unexpected beauty. Have you ever heard the ancient Zen story about a man running desperately from a hungry tiger? He reaches a cliff's edge, slips and clings precariously to a vine. Above him, the tiger snarls, below awaits another tiger, and mice start chewing the vine. Yet in this terrifying moment, he notices a ripe strawberry. Reaching out, he plucks it, tasting its exquisite sweetness fully, right then and there. Presence isn't about ignoring difficulties, it's about finding richness even amidst life's challenges. Remarkably, neuroscience confirms this spiritual wisdom. Consistent mindfulness practice actually rewires your brain. MRI scans show reduced activity in the amygdala, your brain's fear and anxiety center, after regular meditation. Every single time you choose to become present, you're physically changing your mind, literally creating greater inner peace. Presence isn't an abstract concept. It's a scientifically measurable transformation happening within you. But choosing presence can be difficult. Life continuously tries to pull your attention toward worries about the future or regrets from the past. Every time you gently guide your mind back into the present, you're strengthening your ability to remain peaceful and grounded. This simple act, repeated daily, is profoundly powerful. Life no longer feels like something to endure or solve. It becomes a miracle to experience. William Blake famously wrote, "If the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear as it is, infinite." When you embrace the power of presence, your perception cleanses itself naturally, revealing infinite depth in every ordinary moment. You finally realize the truth you've always sought, that fulfillment has never existed anywhere but in the timeless, infinite now. Here's the crucial question. Are you ready to fully embrace the transformative power of this moment, the only place happiness ever truly lives? What if, after your long and challenging journey, the ultimate destination isn't some distant place, but right here, inside you, exactly as you are? You've searched everywhere for answers, in achievements, relationships, experiences, but each time something felt incomplete. Why? Because what you've been searching for all along is yourself, your true, authentic self. The greatest secret about spiritual awakening is that it's not about becoming someone new, it's about returning home to who you've always been. Carl Jung called this final stage individuation, the beautiful merging of your conscious and unconscious self into harmonious wholeness. Every shadow you've faced, every illusion you've shattered, every darkness you've navigated brought you closer to this powerful moment. Jung also reminded us, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Awakening, then, is the profound realization that who you truly are is enough, and always has been. Consider the legendary phoenix, an ancient symbol of rebirth that willingly burns itself to ashes only to rise again renewed. Your journey has been similar. You've likely faced moments that felt like fiery annihilation, painful losses, confusing darkness, and profound transformations. Yet what if these weren't destructive experiences, but creative ones? What if every ending was secretly guiding you to this profound new beginning? Returning home isn't passive resignation, it's the ultimate empowerment. You finally stop chasing external validation and instead begin living deeply aligned with your intuition and truth. Decisions now flow naturally from clarity rather than fear or insecurity. You're finally free, not because life stops challenging you, but because you've learned to embrace yourself fully with unconditional compassion and acceptance. Mystics throughout history described enlightenment as the profound sense of coming home. Rumi offered these comforting words: do not feel lonely. The entire universe is inside you. Neuroscience echoes this wisdom. After profound spiritual experiences, your brain physically changes, becoming calmer, more resilient, and deeply connected to life. You literally embody wholeness, finally understanding you were never incomplete, never broken. Awakening doesn't mean your growth ends here, far from it. Instead, you're now positioned to live a profoundly meaningful life, both for yourself and those around you. You become a living example of authenticity and compassion, naturally guiding others toward their own awakening. There's nothing left to chase, nothing left to prove. You've always been exactly who you needed to be, exactly where you needed to be. Feel this truth deeply. You are home. You've always been home. The journey was necessary because it brought you precisely here, to your profound inner wholeness. Now it's your privilege and your calling to share this awakening with others, because in truth, we're all simply walking each other home. So take a deep breath and finally rest. Your awakening isn't the end, it's the beginning of an extraordinary life. Are you ready to share this powerful journey, guiding others gently toward the home they've always carried within?